Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of This Is Public. Joined as always, we got Cardell WG here. Raymond Lyons is currently at the PSA because he was in the building for today's regular season finale. Nelson Carpe Jr. again. Welcome to This Is Outlook. You guys stay across the bottom of the game. For most of you Mystics fans, if you are Mystics fans that tuned in, you guys already know what the result means for Washington. Minnesota denied Washington the final playoff spot with 83-77 victory. It's that simple. We talked to you guys leading up to prior to last game, why it was important to win last game, and then this games, and but how like it was literally winner stay home, and this we know exactly what it is at this point. This concludes the 2021 regular season. Obviously, we know all about all the injury issues they've had all year. We're going to get into kind of like the future, looking in next year a little bit later. But Ray, I know you took in some of post game. If you just want to share your thoughts on that, then the game, then we'll get to Cardell and then get on some of those other topics I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, of course they talked about the game today and spent some time talking about the season in its totality as well. In regards to today, I mean, in the second and fourth quarters, uh, Coach Eric Tebow spoke first. He just said, that defensive effort in the second and fourth quarters is what, it's kind of what he envisioned for the team, but they just weren't able to put it together for a full 40 minutes. And, we've seen that before from them throughout the season. Um, it was a play the level of intensity was at a playoff level because it was essentially a playoff game. Win or go home. He was trying to mix the lineups a little bit to give them different things at different times, just to just try to keep Minnesota off balance. And I said it just gave people great opportunities to grow. But he said a game like this is just kind of where reality hits you in the face, and they know they have to get better. Despite all the adversity, despite the injuries, there are some things that were in their control that led to being in the position they're in. So it wasn't all doom and gloom, but he just says if at the end of the season, if you're looking back at a 12-20 record, then there's obviously some things that you need to revisit. No matter what went on, from a personnel standpoint. So just spoke about some missed opportunities through the season. He said a lot of games they were up at the half, but they just didn't have the horses to close it out. And and then that's just something they gotta take back and look at, in regards to who was on the floor and what they could have done to give themselves more opportunities to win. But this there was a small hint of optimism there. Seeing as how next year they'll have Alicia Clark. This team, and they've played a full season together. The team has been here for a full year, so that acclimation process, while it was kind of disjointed because of all the injuries, it's still a year under her belt with this group. So they'll go in the next season with a little more familiarity with each other, and Tina kind of spoke on that herself as well. You know, just talking about how COVID kind of prevented some of the bonding things that she normally has been accustomed to, where they would to grow and establish relationships. So she's looking forward to hopefully being able to do that at some point in the future. She spoke on the young players, man. She said they never really felt sorry for themselves. Said they kept things light, which was a little different than what she's accustomed to. She's a very business-minded player, but she said that change of pace, it was good to have, in the midst of all the adversity they faced throughout the season. And, I can only imagine if they're going through what they're going through, and then you got to go into a cold locker room. I can see how some of that lightheartedness kind of lifted things at times. She spoke very highly of Ariel Atkins. She said she just wants to get better. Called her the most utmost professional she's ever seen at that age. And that's evident by what we see on the court from Ariel. She's all business, man, and she's really stepped up. She's had two of maybe the craziest seasons ever back to back in her young career, and I'm sure that sped up her maturation process. So So yeah, man, just and they they had the opportunity to be together during the Olympics. So I'm sure their relationship kind of got stronger through that point. And for media availability, Tasha Cloud closed it out. She just flat out called this a season from hell. Um, you know, I which is understandable given everything we've seen them go through. And then to put the icing on the cake, the one positive COVID test comes from the coach in the last 2 games of the season. So that's a very it's very fitting seeing as how the season went for them. But in regards to things that need to improve, she just was blunt with it. At times the focus and IQ kind of went out the window when the fatigue started to set in. They went into a couple games with 7, 8 people in uniform, and when when them legs and them lungs start to go, you can't think straight, and it's hard to perform. So she said that's something they got to look at, and they just got to be better. They're professionals, and they just got to execute and push through it. But she was proud of how hard they fought today. She said it sucks to miss the playoffs, which is understandable, but she said it's beauty in this process. They went through a lot, but and even through all that, they were still here with the opportunity to fight their way into the postseason. They just came up a little short. So yeah, man, I think just given the move from everybody in post game, of course they're upset that they didn't make the playoffs, but I think they're gonna come back next season with it's gonna be get back. They coming off 2019, then they had the bubble season, and then this season I'm pretty sure they feel like they still haven't got a true chance to defend the title. So yeah, man, we'll see. Hopefully things continue to go well, and we're able to get back to an even more level of normalcy. So so they can continue to develop what they're trying to build.
All right, Cardo.
Yeah, I just feel like this game kind of represented their season. But just they couldn't. I can't remember the last time they put 4 quarters together. You know what I mean? Like 4 strong quarters. They had two this game, but obviously we knew that wasn't enough. I mean, enough to just do what they had to do and punch their ticket to the playoffs, man. And like Tosh said, it's just a culmination of everything they went through. Just came to a head at one point or another in this very game. We just represented the whole season in this one game. You had bright moments, you had some adversity, and then you had moments that's just like it's overwhelming, but you got to push through, man. What else can you do? It's either that or just quit. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the fight because the Lynx could. We've seen it happen. A week or so ago against the Storm. The Lynx had the opportunity to just wear them out. You know what I'm saying? But they fought back, especially in that second quarter and late in the fourth. Man, they show heart, and that's all we can ask for, man. We all know they done went through hell. I know a lot of fans don't like being realistic and just being factual what happened, man. But I can't recall a team, WNBA or NBA, that went through something like this, like where there's just so many players at one point or another just dropping. You know what I'm saying? Like going down, going down, going down. On top of the protocol stuff you got to deal with, that's reality for all of us with COVID. Even the damn coach went down late in the season, and that. And this is no disrespect to his son, but man, that hurt. That hurts. I mean, you look, his son can be the next in line all he want. You can't duplicate decades of experience that Mike Tabal has for different situations that may have came up in this game where he knew exactly what to do because he's been here before so many times, man. So that played a part in it, man. Like you lose your best player, one of the best players in the world. She barely plays. Leach Clark, your big free agent, she tear her Achilles. And Tina went down. My Ariel went down. Maisha, Cloud went down before Olympic break. I mean, made trades. People like they dealt with one thing after another after another. It was never smooth sailing, man. And to be in this position, you just got to tip your head. You got to tip your hat to them. But like they say, they got to figure some things out, and it's just not with the players. This many players shouldn't be dropping, man. So they might have to look at their strength and conditioning staff and see what's going on with that. It's just real. Something got to happen, man. You know what I mean? Because this was just this was different. I mean, the only time I can kind of think of something similar to this is probably the NBA was back when the Spurs had everybody get injured, and that's how they got Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's probably the last time I could think as a team where so many key players and role players just went down at one point or another, and you say it is what it is, though. You can't ask for the young players on this team to have to battle, especially in the WNBA where it's so top heavy, man, because there's only so many players. There's 100 some players in the world playing in this league, man. So everybody's nice. You know what I'm saying? So there's really no break every game. So, and they're not gonna feel sorry for, you know, like we said, we've been saying it throughout the season. Every team remember what they did with the Memphis did to them in 2019. You know what I'm saying? I know it's stung to have a former player from that team come back and light them up and eliminate them. You know what I mean? So, you know, I know it's all love because they share history together, but that's just all it is, man. They really got to get healthy. First of all, they got to get healthy, and they got to come back with a vengeance. Kind of like what we saw when they lost to the Storm in the finals. They got swept, and they came back with a vengeance. They got to come back with that mentality because, you know what I mean. They got redeemed. So I think this is the second time in the ball era that they missed the playoffs. They're not even used to this. So it's back to the drawing board. Like, you know, you just gotta be real. You are what your record says you are. As Bill Parcells once said, man. And we know our injuries played a big role, but it's not the only role. It's a lot of things that the players controlled, and they lost some games where it's just like, what we are doing? You know what I mean? So everybody got to look in the mirror, get better, and come back next season healthy and ready to go, man. Seriously. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Hopefully Mike Tavall get healthy, everybody get healthy. You know, like he turned out all right because COVID ain't nothing to play with, especially with, you know, him being up there in age, man. You know, like prayers out to him and stuff like that. So, you know, all the ladies stay safe and get better, man. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up. So that's just my take from tonight.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. Like you guys said, the team that was on the court most of the time this season didn't remotely resemble the team that they put together last offseason. They never got close to seeing a glimpse of that team at all. And, you know, it kind of just I feel confident that you guys covered it today. So we're just going to slide into this topic. It's where are they going to go? Because I think that's the biggest thing. I don't remember the quote from Eric today. I saw someone tweet it out. I know, Ray, you confirmed that as well. I don't remember it verbatim, but, you know, you're 12 and 20, and it was speaking to the talent of this group. Like the talent, like there's less talent on this team than the team that made the run in 2019. It's not a knock to anybody. It's just simple facts. It is what it is. That was one of the deepest teams in the league at that time when they made that run. That the second group was coming off with haymakers. That's how deep that second group was. You know, so it just is what it is. But yeah, where do they go? I know a couple things in Cardell is something I want to like just probably keep in my mind going towards the off season. Like you just mentioned about the you don't really remember anything like this happening since like the Spurs before they got Timmy. Washington's in this weird place. They didn't have the first round pick this year. Looks like they're lining up for a lottery pick in this upcoming draft. Don't know if they keep it or whatever. We'll get into that later. But this offseason, Cardell, we'll start with you and Ray. Just where do you think they need to go as we look into the offseason? I know the draft is far away, but we all cover women's college basketball. We have an idea what's coming out in next year's draft already. There's gonna be other names that rise at the top as well. But for this group, and you know, we identified some areas they need to improve on. Just where do they go, Cardell? Or Ray, you can go ahead if Cardell's not there at the moment.
I think they need more athleticism on the perimeter. You know, especially from a defensive standpoint, because once you got past Cloud and Atkins this season, I mean, they really didn't have somebody to come in, you know, with kind of that same level of you know, of defensive prowess. So you know, that would be a start. You know, one thing about that, not to keep referring back to 2019, but you know, that was kind of a blueprint for success. They had, you know, floor spacers. So add another shooter. I know Alicia Clark would have definitely helped in that aspect as she played this season, but that's those are two areas I think would have definitely helped this year. And they were a little undersized as well. I know missing Elena had a lot to do with that, but you had Tina and then Maisha with her. Maisha, she's rough, she's rugged. She throws herself around, but at the end of the day, she's still undersized. And we talk about it often how these front courts in the W are nothing to play with. So if you got to deal with the Joneses up in Connecticut or Liz and Asia Wilson in Vegas, and things like that, it it means something. So that was just a couple tweaks that I think would definitely help them regain that championship level.
Carnell.
Definitely more depth and size, um, a taller point guard to back up Cloud, a taller pattern because teams preyed on that when Cloud had she really didn't rest because she couldn't rest, but um, and this is no shot at Alani and all that, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but if you're not super quick, or you could be a pest and get up under them, you're a liability now in the WNBA with the point guard play because they're so quick and athletic and strong. Plus, they got size. You know what I mean? Somebody like that could really relieve Cloud. She don't have to play 40 minutes, damn near 40 minutes a game, 30, 35 or whatever. And somebody they can't just put in a post and just try to abuse. Um, Definitely more depth up front. Even when they had Deladon and Meesman were there, they still had Latoya Sanders. They still had Tiana Hawkins. She's 6'3". You know what I mean? They still had a lot of size and a lot of height where they can throw bodies at you and wear you down. So, for instance, the Cam Beige and the Asia Wilsons of the world, Jonquil and Alyssa, yeah, they all work, but you got to deal with about three of them at your possession. And that'll wear any one player down or at least make it even. So, something like that. And we know they're going to be healthy. They're coming back. Deladon and Meesman. Hopefully Tina comes back. You know what I mean? I know she's on a 1 year deal. Hopefully she comes back. And obviously, Maisha is just one of those players that we've seen grow up, and I'm pretty sure it's consensus. We feel that we know what the business is, but you would like to see retire as a Mystic. You know what I'm saying? Because she's literally grown up from a baby to where she was barely playing to now starting, but she's came into her own. So you want to maintain that, but we all know what the business is, but definitely add more size and more depth. I don't know how they're gonna do it either through the draft or free agency. I don't know what the money particulars are about that, but you gotta have more depth where the starters don't have to literally play 30, 35 minutes just for you to have a chance, fighting chance, man. Because you just gotta keep it real, man. A lot of times the bench outside of Shatori, and eventually, Shatori got moved into the starting lineup, so you can't even rely on that. A lot of times the bench really ain't do too much. You know what I'm saying? They didn't score enough and they didn't defend enough, and it's like the starters get like a minute and they back in. So that's what it is. Like I said, it's reinforcements coming back. Obviously, just stay healthy. That's the main thing because it don't matter who we add. If these same players are hurt next year, it's just more the same. But yeah, you definitely got to get more size or whatnot because now, even with Natasha up there in New York, you know what I'm saying, Connecticut, the way they just been murdering the league. Dallas is young. They got about 7, 8 of them Jones. Just I don't know what the hell they gonna do. I mean, damn,
They got
they
extra.
all like 6'4", 6'5", can move, shoot, dribble, pass. It's gonna get real. They just got growth. And they in the playoffs, so they about to get some experience. You need a few of those bodies, man. You know what I mean? Ironically, the Mystics 2019 kind of ushered in a blueprint for all these teams to follow moving forward. And that's what they've been doing ever since, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I know coming off that, they were expecting, like, we're going to have a chance against the Mystics. We're going to have to build our team this way. And then, ironically, the injury bug and the bubble and all that stuff done hit the Mystics over the last couple of seasons. So they didn't even necessarily have to face it. You know what I mean? But now they done built it that way. And it's ironic that Mystics like, damn, we basically facing what we built all around the league now. So we got to get back up to par to have a fighting chance. And that's just how it goes when the team wins and it's dominant like that, man. So, we'll see where it goes, man. But, I have no doubts about the ball. That man works wonders in the off season with forming teams. So, him staying healthy, I know they'll be right back in the mix, man. My thing is just be healthy. I know someone will go overseas, come back healthy. I wouldn't even be surprised with Tabal like, nah, dog. Now, you know what, just come in, man. We'll talk about just give you some bread to make sure you're good, because this season was rough, man. It was real rough.
And yeah, like you said about going overseas and coming back healthy, that's how they lost Alicia Clark. They're in the WNBA game. They're one of their prize free agent acquisitions. Never, not a practice, not a nothing. Season over. Another, somebody was another critical part of that run. 2019 played in the bubble last year. Emma didn't touch anything, didn't touch a practice, anything over here either as well. So, like you said, it's about getting bodies back and being healthy. I'm just very interested in seeing how he goes about it, because, like you said, it's Mike. I don't think anybody here has any doubt in his ability to, one, scout, or two, assemble a team. So they need a nice little influx of talent, especially with that second unit. So we'll see how that how it comes about this offseason. You guys have anything else that you wanted to add?
Look, just real quick, it's a lot of businesses. It's a lot of money in DC. Y'all gonna be some of y'all little corporations here. Y'all can make it happen. Take care of these ladies so they can. Y'all, I don't want to hear that. It's a lot of money in the DC area. Come on, man. They want to make it happen. They can make it happen, though. Yeah. Leave it at
that. Points were made, Cardell. I hope people took heed, but seriously, like, they were dealt a bad hand that said, I'm anxious to see how they go about, retooling it. Like the Wolves were, not the Wolves, but the Lynx went through this a little while ago, where you had players leave. You lost Simone, Lindsay, Maya stepped away. They retooled around Sylvia within like 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying they're back at the top of the world, but they're 3 seed possibly. I think after they went to that. So
yeah, they number 3 now.
So it can be done. So we will definitely see. Before we leave, quick word from our folks over at Ooze and Oz. Have off signature cocktails during happy hour from 3 to 7 p.m. daily at Georgia Avenue location. Get over to Ooze and Oz and see the menu for hours and more. We will see you guys very soon. And don't forget to get over to thefocustv.com.